All right, shalom everybody, and peace of the Lord to all of you. I cannot stay here for long because I just find out that I'm a prophet, and I know when the day of judgment will happen. And that's it. We have 3 days, so I have to do laundry. We don't want to face the day of judgment, and the laundry is not done yet. And look like everybody knows when the day of judgment is going to happen. Not only me. Unbelievable. So one of you, he sent me a video. And, you know, this guy is taking the video serious. I find those videos hilarious and stupid. Actually, the one who made them, they aren't stupid, no. They are making those videos to get a click. And, you know, the naive of us, they think they take them seriously. I will play a little bit of the video for you so we can laugh. And supposedly the person who made the video is a Christian. So, not sure how Christian he is. We will find out. Are you ready for the day of judgment? I hope so, folks. Folks.
A massive US military force is... Folks. A massive US military force is gathering in the Middle East. And something huge is about to happen at the Red Sea. If you think we are not in the end times even now, you really need to watch this one clip.
So Europe is getting ready for war and it wants its citizens to prepare too. Brussels has issued guidelines for all 450 million Europeans. 450 million people across all 27 member states. Every household has been asked to maintain a survival kit to stock up on things like bottled water, canned food, a torch, and basic supplies like toilet paper. This stock should last for at least 3 days. That is the instruction.
Did you hear that?
No.
450 million people across all the 27 member states of Europe are preparing to stockpile every essential
Essential.
for at least 72 hours straight.
Just give me a break. You know, like, that's it. I mean, it's we have to be serious now. Like, come on. There's no more time for... So listen carefully. I don't know who is in the European Union he came with this stupid thing, but, I mean, who in the world will prepare for World War III with one bottle of water, a Caesar, some aspirin, and a blanket? Oh, hilarious. I know when I say stupid is amazing, is amazing. I don't know who is stupid here. I mean, all European Union, you are telling your citizens to prepare for 3 days? Like what? The World War will happen in 3 days? Not 3 years, not 10 years. 3 days, you know, 3 days, water. You see that red Caesar? You can cut anything with it. Unbelievable. You can cut even put in pieces. I don't know what is behind this stupidity in Europe, but nothing new about Europe. You know, stupidity is amazing. What is more stupid is that some naive people, they take what those people seriously, what they say. If you are a believer, you should not listen to those people. The Bible makes it so clear. You see, even third war happened, fourth war happened, seventh world war happened, still that is not the day of judgment. Don't make those people stupid fool you. This is not, and it's not a human being by having a war would decide the day of judgment. What an idiot. You know, if we go in the Bible, The problem, you know, people do not read the Bible. First of all, nobody will know. Nobody expect. The judgment day will happen when nobody expect. If everybody expect, then it's not going to happen. It's not something you expect. It is something unexpected. Secondly, the war always happen, and from the signs of the day of judgment to get close is a human being killing each other. This is true, but this is always the case. Nothing new. I mean, Adam and his brother, there is no two army now, yet one of them, he killed the other one. So we can say at that time 50% of humanity died. 50% at that war between two brothers, because there was only two brothers. So don't listen to those people who try just to get a click, claiming to be Christians. You will notice that the most clicked videos and watch is the one who speak about the end of the time. The second you say to those people end of the time, they open their mouth, they collapse, they love, you know, they love those kind of videos. A guy, he saw, I think he said he is from Miami, and he saw that all of Florida is submerged by water, and he was driving his car. I mean, yeah. And then millions of people watch. Everybody have a vision, everybody have etc. Everybody, you know, we can say that God can give us a vision. This is true. But when it's come to the day of judgment, nobody knows where it's going to be but the Father. The Father will announce it. The Father will decide it. Is not a human being decided by war. Not Putin, not Trump, nobody. And what you see here in front of you is just another joke. Let us say, for the sake of argument, the Third World War started. How that will be the day of judgment? Very just, you know, just naive people, you know. If we go to the Bible, not this, you know, let us go to Genesis. Genesis 18. And then if you go down, we will see the story about Sodom and Gomorrah. And this is story here, which is true story. When I say story, it doesn't mean it's a tale. It's a fairy tale. Story mean something happened before us in history, and now we are reading it as a story because we did not live it. So, asking the Lord, what if there is in the city 50 people? Would you destroy the city? Because the city is full of wicked people? The answer, no. What about 40? For the sake of the 50 righteous, the Lord will not destroy the city. For the sake of 40, the Lord will not destroy the city. For the sake of even 30 or 20, the Lord will not destroy the city. So the destruction of God will happen when the righteous in the world become a very small, very, 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 very tiny number compared to the population. Can we say that USA does not have a single righteous? Every city does not have a 20 righteous, 50 righteous, 70 righteous, 1,000 righteous? We cannot say that. So if the Lord, He was patient with the city, all of it is Sodom and Gomorrah, and we know what they do. Just for the sake of a 20, He will not destroy the city. So what I'm trying to tell you, that the Bible, full of evidence about not to listen to those people. The Messiah told us nobody knows. Even the Son, he will not announce it. This is for the Father. The Son will be the judge. The Father will announce the day of judgment. So whoever says to you, the end of the time, prepare yourself, a true believer, he knew that the end of the time when he died. What does that mean? There's a day of judgment, because end of the time is for people who live at that time, at that moment. Otherwise, your time ends when you die. And then you will be exposed to the day of judgment. So the end of the time is every second we have when it's come to individual. So if you die now, if I die now, I die with my sin. And I will be judged for my sin. The day of judgment is no one knows when it's going to happen and whatever day it's going to be. Never listen to those people. It's a mockery of God. Warning people about their sin is something, and lying and saying we know when the day of judgment. That's it. The European Union told you to buy this in your house. I mean, European Union are mentally ill. A kit for 3 days? Well, what are you talking about? Like last war you have with Hitler was for 3 days. And if it's a nuke war, what this 3 days will do? What is this? So, fear, I believe the one who is behind this, he partnered with the company to make those kits, so they want to sell them out. And then you wait for the coming century, and this kit has never been used. So, the one who sent me this video, I told him this is funny, and he don't understand why it's funny. In fact, it's an insulting to our Bible. It is a person who claimed to be a prophet, a person who can predict when the day of judgment. Anyone, he tell you, like tomorrow the day of judgment, this week, it's that almost here. He is lying to you. Never listen to those people. For me, in fact, anyone he come with such a story, he is lying to people, no question about it, and he is no Christian. Just to get a click in my videos, I install fear in the heart of people, and just to make you understand how those things can even affect the the faith of many. The story of like the wolves are coming, the wolves are coming, the shepherd, he shouted to the village, the wolf, the whole village come to support the shepherd. They arrive. I was joking. There's no wolves. I was joking with you. Second time, he did the same. The whole village, they took their weapon, they come to help the shepherd. I was joking with you. Third time, the real wolves came. And then he shouted, the wolves are here. The wolves are here. And nobody came. And the wolves ate him. So those people who lie, they will have the same impact. People will lose their faith. They will not believe in the day of judgment no more, because they notice that each time they heard about it for the last 2,000 years, every scumbag liar go and he claimed that he is a prophet, and he tell us even when the date is. I know people, me myself, they sold their houses. A family who they are rich, very, very rich. They join a group of heresy, Jehovah's Witnesses, garbage. They told them, this day, this month. They told him even which hour. They sold all their property. And the date come. And now they are homeless. And all the money they gave out, they cannot take it back. Just because they believe in one scammer, he fooled them. The guy who is making this video about the day of judgment, why he is playing advertising in his channel if you will die tomorrow? You are collecting money to the last moment? Are you with me? Like, guys, the judgment to tomorrow, but donate to me. Yeah, because you will not need money. Hello? Oh? Okay. We will not need money. You will not need money too. Isn't it obvious that the one who made the video himself, he do not believe in what he's saying? Isn't it? Halal cat food? Nagla seed? Use your brain. He is very religious, but his videos, the whole purpose of this video is to have many clicks, advertising, and I don't know, people, man, what happened to mankind? Nobody want to use his brain. God, he gave you a brain, use it. Who want to give me his house or farm? Tomorrow is the day of judgment. You know, this is what Mohammed, he did to the guy, you know, Abu Dahdah. He exchanged his farm with 600 palm tree date. Imagine 600. This is in the desert of Arabia. That is a very, very nice land. That means there's water there in the desert. 600 palm tree. That is a treasure. So the guy gave Muhammad his land and his farm in exchange of a corner lot in heaven. Always, when somebody come to you with such a thing, ask yourself, is his bank empty now? Did he donate all his money? Why he's collecting donation? Why he is playing advertising? If he believe that the judgment day is coming in a few days from now. Use your brain if you have any. Yeah, just 72 hours. That's it. It's over. Finally, you will get rid of your mother-in-law. Good news. And you will not pay maybe your tax. 72 hours, that's it, we're done. See, many good things coming with this day of judgment. But still they are playing ad in their videos, collecting money from YouTube, collecting donations, yet they believe in the day of judgment. That it's coming very soon. For us as a Christian, we believe in the day of judgment for sure. But the Lord, he warned us about false prophet who will say, the Messiah is coming, the Messiah is here, the Messiah, you know. Be vigilant, for any day is your day. Which means when you die, that's it, this is your day of judgment. Because all but the difference between the day you die and the day you will be judged is nothing, you will be dead. So let us say you die today, and the judgment day is 10 million billion years from now. Nothing will change. Time will not. You will not feel time. But your time is ended. You did not repent. You did not change your life before you die. So your passage of salvation is not there for you no more. There's no passage for salvation after you die, if you don't believe and repent. That's it. The time is over. After you die, there's no fruit. From their fruits you shall know them. So I want to warn you, about those people who come with the day of judgment, and that's it, 72 hours. And yeah, I mean, come on, it's over, Let us be realistic, huh? Hey, Indian TV, did you prepare yourself for curry? Did you buy enough curry for the coming 3 days? Because imagine you are an Indian, you don't have curry for the coming 3 days. What if the World War III now started? Do you have enough curry? Huh? And the German, they will prepare for 3 days WWW3. What they will do? They will buy beer. They don't even drink water. So the Indian will buy curry, the German will buy beer, the Arab will get camel urine. 3 days. What a stupid European Union, and how those false people they use the news to fool you. Big things is going to happen in the Middle East. Yeah, big thing. My cousin is making poo-poo now. We are the Middle East. Don't tell me about it. We have war for the last thousands of years there. Never ended. Nothing new. Something big is going to happen in the Middle East. What will happen? Zakir Naik is going to use his manure there. Oh no. They are expert with the Middle East. War is everywhere, happen all the time. If they say repent and the day of judgment can happen anytime, I have no problem with it, But don't predict and don't lie and don't use people to make a donation for you or to collect advertising from the click. All of this is an act, is a satanic act. It's not godly act. Using the faith of the naive. The naive, by the way, is the one who reject the faith, not the one who believe. But the naive can be someone, he listened to those liars. And he take them seriously. We have to take only one source of information seriously. That is the Bible. Anything else, they will use the Bible to manipulate the truth. They will use the Bible to make themselves they knew. When the Bible make it clear, no one knows but the Father. Do you understand now why Jesus, he said such a sentence? Because he knew that there is many scammers. They will use it. They will claim that they have knowledge of the day and the hour. So when Jesus in Matthew, he made it clear, no one knows the day or the hour, even the Son. Jesus is being extreme in warning you about those liars. Do you see it? So you don't take anyone, he speak about this matter seriously. If he is warning you about faith and belief, this is a different story. We take it seriously. If he's saying to you, repent, the day of judgment day can come any moment, we listen to him seriously. However, in order to listen to him, he have to be a person who repent himself too, not a scumbag trying to tell you that you are a sinner and he is better than you and he is good and he is ready. So we have to examine the spirit, as the Lord said. And I say to you in these days and always, follow the money. Many of those who claim to be Muslims or Christians take from them super chat and the advertising. They will not even come to YouTube. They will not even, they will consider coming to YouTube a waste of time. So YouTube actually became polluted with false people who believe, they claim to be believers, not only between the Muslims, even between the Christian. They will take advantage of you, claiming to be believers, the one who defend the faith, but the second you take super chat from them and the money, they will not even show up. They will look for a different place to collect the money. Without mentioning names. You have your experience already. So be careful with those people. Don't let anyone fool you. Same time, the warning about the like WW3 is a joke, because all those superpower, they will never dare to use their weapon. They will not, because nobody will win. In fact, the only reason human beings are not slaughtering each other in a massive number because of those nukes. So became like dogs who they are, you know, but they don't dare to attack because there is no winner. Even the one who wins, he will be devastated and he will lose maybe 90% of his population, if not all of them. So those fear mongers, they take advantage of you. God knows how much money they make from this 3 days kit. I am assuming that the one who behind this, he own a company who make those, or he have a big share on it, and he convinced to announce such a thing. Oh, in case of a war happened, we don't want people to go panic, so now let us have a 3 days kit. But this is the most funny, stupid thing ever to say. I mean, do you have a brain? When Corona happened, people, they were fighting over toilet papers for shit. Excuse my language. Literally fighting, using physical hands for toilet paper. So you want to convince yourself and the 450 million, whatever millions, that this is a preparing for the World War III? Who is the stupid here? You know, you feel sad for people. How easy to be manipulated and lied to. But what I can do? I know. I give up. I give up in people. No matter how many times we warn them, still they are the same. Nothing changed. The super chat community, they have a brain of super chat. They like the privilege. They give money so somebody will put their question on the screen. Oh, my question on the screen. Now I'm lucky. I just made him answer my question for $10. The other guy said, oh, I will not let that happen. I will give him $12. Okay. And the idiot who is laughing at you, supposedly is taking your question, he is just laughing at a bunch of fools who they think they are doing good. Question and answer with meter. It's like going to the lawyer. Right? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you longer because I advise you to go and buy this kit, especially the Red Caesar. I think you will need it, you know. At least, you know, you can cut something with it. Like, let's say, like as an example, Putin, he throw a nuke next to your house, next to your bedroom. How you can stop it? There is like a line and there's fire in it. You go and you cut that line before it's explode. You save the world. Now we know why this Caesar is there. So the World War III is going to happen, and that little tiny, you know, very gay bag, it looked like a gay bag. I mean, look at this red, and look at the color. And don't forget the one, what is this medicine? Is that something you put in the anus? What is that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about. And look at the flashlight. This flashlight will be empty in 2 minutes. I mean, it's in the size of your finger. Okay, after 3 days, how we will have light? And this flashlight will work for 3 days? Non-stop light at night? True story, true story. Trouble A battery. Yeah, I have my own kit, you know. We Middle Eastern, we don't buy like rice by kilo. So I have 3 or 4 big cases of rice. Will be enough for a long, long time. Same for water. Same for, but I'm not because preparing for war, trust me, no. But I'm not going to drive backward just for shopping, you know, and you save money in the same time. I bought salt more than 12 years ago. 12 years ago, salt. And I have salt still for the coming 12 years or maybe more. I'm serious. So always you have something like emergency, like rice. But this is not because a war will happen, etc. You never know. I mean, look what happened during the stupid corona. People are beasts. People are animals. You know, they lose their humanity the second they are hungry. They lose their humanity. They are evil. We saw the videos. You know, people bunching each other for the sake of toilet paper. You have water, you can wash your butt with water. In fact, it's way more cleaner from the stupid toilet paper. What about every one of you go and get a bidet? Clean yourself. Not the stupid, stinky toilet paper. Use water. Wash your hands. By a bidet, you will not even touch yourself. You will see the evil nature of a human being in the time of panic, where there is like a plague, disease, war, something like that. You don't know the nature of a human being, and I'm talking about individual or even group, until they are tested. I mean, we are not at war, and people rape, and people steal, and people kill, and people, you know, they do all kind of filthy stuff, and there's no war. So imagine if there's war. And don't listen to those garbage when they speak about this kit. This is not how you prepare to war. You put rice in your house. Rice can stay for years. Just keep it locked and no insect, nothing can get in, and you will be fine. Anything can be stored, any kind of food can be stored for long, is a good thing to do, especially if you have the space for it and you can afford buying it. But what they are talking about here is a joke. And this is telling you that they are not even serious. Yeah. In Norway, we have 1 week. You know, there's some countries they are blessed. Like if you live in the ocean, you know, you can always, you know, the ocean can feed you. But if we are talking about nukes, even the ocean can be polluted. You know, I mean, everything can be risky. Anything you eat can be risky. The water will be polluted. So risk is always there. But fear is how they play their game to fool people who is, you know, they have a phobia. You know, phobia, like third world. I mean, how many times we keep hearing this? I'm sure it's going to happen one day that those superpower they will try to flush each other. But like it's like waiting for somebody make the stupid mistake, you know, like somebody hit the bomb. It might happen next year, it might happen next century, it might happen, but it's going to happen because the more the world become populated, the more they will be competing for resource. Like the biggest war in the Middle East is not going to be about the land, it's going to be about water. There's no water. As simple as that. The war of Egypt and Ethiopia can happen anytime, not because of land, but because of water. The increase of population, even though it sounds like a healthy thing, human being is not killing a human being, but time will come that a human being will kill massive number of a human being because they will be fighting over resource. So now they are fighting over resource by taking advantage of poor countries. Like, you know, they go to Africa, Chinese, they go to Africa, they tell them we invest, give us a license, give us, etc. Slowly, 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 the Chinese will take over the country. And then the country will become, you know, the owner of the country, they will become like second-hand citizen of China. China can attack Taiwan at any moment, any time. The only thing is preventing them is a consequence. If they notice that the consequence overcome the winning, they will not do it. But if they notice that the consequence is not as much taking Taiwan, then they will attack Taiwan any second. In fact, you know, China, they might attack Taiwan soon because they knew Trump is not going to defend Taiwan. They are very sure of that. Trump is not a warrior. Trump is a potato when it's come to war. So this is a perfect time for China to attack Taiwan. The only worry maybe they have is how much Taiwan is prepared to defend themselves and how much is going to cause them to get close even to the beaches. Otherwise, they will do it. So all the balance of war and peace is not fixed. You change the president of a country, the balance change, even though the country still have the same army. The reason the Kurdish in Syria, they agree with the terrorists in the capital to join them, because they knew that Trump is going to withdraw the army, the American army, from Syria. If Biden is still there, they will not sign. Nothing changed, just new president, new policy. Trump, he said he can stop the war in Russia in 24 hours. He made a big poo-poo. Putin is laughing at him. In fact, Putin, he warned him, you cannot take Greenland. I will not allow it. He's laughing at Trump. So, you know, there is a reason for all of them not to do what they say and not to say what they will do. Because simply, they knew that all of them are not able to accomplish anything by war, unless they are fighting a small country. A country is not equal to them, and they don't have something can be devastating for this nation. This is why Putin, he attacked Ukraine, because they give up their nukes. If they have their nukes, they will never attack them. They will not dare. So, whatever happened in this earth, it is God, the Lord, He is the one who will decide when the day of judgment will be. And those people who they are fooling you, they are making fun of you. No one knows when it's going to be. And it's not a war will decide when the day of judgment will happen. It's not. It is corruption. So human being, when we reach the point that in a big massive city there's not even 20 people are righteous, then we should know that it is soon, because we are the one who made it faster to come. The more we are corrupt, the more faster the day of judgment. It's not a preset date. We don't believe in destiny. We corrupt ourselves, we doom ourselves. So as long there is enough righteous to make the Lord have patient and more patient, the day of judgment will not happen. And we have, you know, if you read Matthew, like we open Matthew, you can read it, all of it, and you will see what the Lord He said about that time. But don't take what those people they say to you. They are a bunch of liars.
Chapter 24. Then Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Assuredly I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down." Now as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming, and of the end of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house. And let him who is in the field not go back to get his clothes. But woe to those who are pregnant, and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath, for then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Then if anyone says to you, 'Look, here is the Christ,' or 'There,' do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise, and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, 'Look, he is in the desert,' do not go out. Or, 'Look, He is in the inner rooms. Do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So you also, when you see all these things, know that it is near, at the doors. Assuredly I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Then 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect.
All right.
Who then is a faithful and...
So I think those words are enough to prove to us that all those people who predict the day of judgment, they are just lying to you. I mean, I don't know how many times the Messiah himself have to repeat that no one knows. Don't listen to them. Don't believe them. Don't take what they say. If people knew where the flood will be, people themselves, they will build ark like Noah. If they are sure that there's a flood will happen, they will have an ark. They can build an ark. But why somebody live in the middle of nowhere, he will build an ark? Why somebody who don't believe that the flood is coming will build an ark? So don't listen to those people who they are saying to you, claiming to be prophet and trying to manipulate the Bible, saying to you, oh, God, Jesus, forgive us, we are preparing for this. They use the name of Jesus the same as Mohammed used the name of Jesus to fool you. He told you, be aware of false prophets, false teachers, false Christ. Even the one who he claimed that I am not saying I'm a Christ, I'm just warning you about the day of judgment. No, he is claiming to know. And all of this just to make some money. Satisfaction saying CP should listen to his own teaching. Hypocrite. I don't know, your name is Satisfaction and you are coming here. You must be very much satisfied with my teaching. Isn't it? Otherwise, you must be a donkey to be here and you are not satisfied. Is that right? Are you here because you are satisfied or because you are not? And you know those scammers, they complain about your teaching, but they don't tell you, okay, tell me why I'm hypocrite. Go ahead. Give me an example. Expose me in front of everybody. Can you do it? Hypocrite. Hello? Anyway, listen. I am Prophet Muhammad CP. And if you believe in me, I will make your penis English and I will give you 3 balls. Because you have none until now. What do you think? Do you like to have a 3 balls? Isn't it enough your wife, she keeps saying to you, you have no balls, you have no balls? Finally, we can solve the problem for you. I will give you 3. 2 of them to play, 1 of them to play with it, bang, bing, bong, and the other 2 is just to flood with them in case the flood happen. And look, now he is not talking. He's dead. He was playing in the yard as long as I'm ignoring him. The second I mention his name, he is satisfied with my insult. Yeah. Unbelievable. To make it simple, anyone he says to you the judgment day is coming soon and he is collecting donation and he is playing advertising in his page and etc., he is a liar. Because if he believed really that he knew the day of judgment and it's very soon, next week, next month, why you are taking money? You should be smarter. Just think about it carefully. So this guy, he believed in the day of judgment happening soon. You have to be ready. Three days war kit. Why he is collecting money? If the day of judgment will be next week, the last thing I will be worried about is money. So all what you need to do, just use a brain, if you have any. Because sadly, many, they don't use their brain. And they let those fools fool them. They get rich, and you get worried. I used to watch and respect you until you attack Sam. Okay. First of all, potato, idiot. I never attacked Sam. He attacked me. I did. Is that correct, guys? I never attacked him. I was surprised actually when somebody told me. Because I have nothing between me and him, He's not my friend. I never met him. I don't know him. I always send him people to his channel. Suddenly, somebody told me, the guy, he said he will wipe the toilet seat with me. I never attack him. So, this is number 1. You're a donkey, liar. Number 2, I attack the Pope, you donkey, son of Muta. The Pope, he said, all paths lead to God. He jumped to defend the Pope. Okay. He got what he deserved. We know that there's no path except Jesus. So if you have a loyalty for a Pope, that means you are not Christian. If you have loyalty to the Lord and teaching of the Bible, then you are Christian. The one who supports such a heretic, false person is heretic too. Whoever defends the Pope is a false man. He is no Christian. And there's many Catholic bishops, they went so crazy against this filthy Pope, and they could not believe that he said what he said. So you can, who cares if you respect me or not? I'm not here waiting for your respect. A piece of garbage. We have loyalty to our Bible, not to a man. All right? Everybody knows that when somebody is a Protestant, he says something false, I wipe the floor with him. Somebody is a Catholic, I wipe the floor with him. Somebody is an Orthodox, I don't care what your church name. Is that true, guys? You are my witness. You have my videos about many of those examples. So anyone will give false teaching, deceive people, we have to stand against him and expose him. But because you are a tail in the butt of the Pope, I mean this Pope, in the hospital, Christian Syrian, they were slaughtered, Alawi, they were slaughtered by the terrorists in Syria, he never opened his mouth. Say Israel, he opened his mouth, right away he's ready. Say Gaza, he have his battery activated only when he hear the word Gaza. Christian being slaughtered in Syria, Christian being slaughtered in Armenia, Christian being slaughtered everywhere, he don't talk. Say Gaza, he is ready. For he is the devil. He is a George Soros second gun. CP is so true, all roads lead to God. It is just after meeting God where they will go. No, this is false. First of all, there is nothing is called after meeting God and before meeting God. We know what he's talking about. He was meeting with people who they are Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, and don't give me your garbage. So he was saying, why you say your God is better than my God? Don't make poo-poo. It's true, it's true. After we meet God, all road lead to God. No, after you meet God, there is road will get you to hell, and there is road will take you to heaven. Supposedly he fixed it. Don't work as a lawyer. You will lose your case in 2 seconds. Imagine you are in the court and you convince the one he hired you to defend him. Don't worry, don't worry. All the roads in the court, they will lead to the exit. Yeah, the exit. There's exit. You are right. But either you set you free or you will go to jail. What do you mean exit? So, you know, people, they poison the society by false statement. You have to be careful. Like, why I get upset from somebody saying Jesus is a Jew? There is people, they don't think carefully, and there is people just take it for granted, like, okay, he's a Jew, he's born between the Jews, so he must be a Jew, he gets circumcised, Mary was a Jew, Joseph was a Jew, he's born of the Jew, the Bible says he is a son of David, son, all the way to David, so he's a Jew. But it's not true. The Messiah existence have nothing to do even with the existence of the Jews. He came to the grandfather of the Jews, to Abraham. And the Muslim will pay you money to say that Jesus was a Jew. Because the whole idea of Islam to say to you, Jesus was a Jew. He's just a Jewish prophet. That's it. So is he your God or he's a Jew? A Jew is, it's means somebody believe and worship the God of the Jews. So did Jesus worship the Trinity? Which means Jesus worshiped himself as a Jew? For years we struggle with those dummies, keep saying that Mohammed from Ishmael, the Arab from Ishmael, it's in every church. Until I came and I start warning people not to say such a stupid thing. Now many churches, they start changing. So how come for centuries nobody noticed that this is stupid to say? How the Arab are from Ishmael? You tell me. Do you know how to read the Bible? Isn't it in Genesis 21:21 says that she married him to an Egyptian woman? So an Egyptian woman married to Ishmael, who is a Chaldean, the son of Abraham, his mother Egyptian, the son is an Arab. It's like saying Taiwanese marry Japanese, the son is German. Nobody wanna use his mind, you know. Martab saying CP has gone insane. He has no idea that a Jew is a nationality. This is again a sign of stupidity, my friend, because do Jesus have nationality? Ethnic? Isn't Jesus your God? The God have nationality? He carry a passport? Dummies. What I can say, I mean, imagine you go to a court to be the one who present or defend an idea. I will make everybody laugh at you in 2 seconds. So according to your stupidity, God have a nationality. So why you say to people Jesus is God? Say he's a Jew, he have nationality, and he is an Israeli. The story is over. Huh? Either you believe that he is God. Isn't it the Bible says, for God loved the world, he sent his only begotten son? The word. Who are they, the people of the Lord? The word. Who the Lord sent his son to save? The word. Was he came to save a nationality? Right? Thanks for reading our comment without giving up a separate chat. Yeah, I don't give a privilege, you know. I'm not a those who have a separate chat. They are doing business, my friend. I'm not doing business here. I read everybody comment. In fact, when somebody insult me, I put his comment in the top. Is that correct, guys? Is that correct? When somebody insult me, I pin his comment. Is that true? All of you are my witness. You can go check. The only time I don't do it because sometime every few months, YouTube will take away this option from me. They say you have to provide your ID or short video of you. Every 3-4 months, they take that option from me. And then if I try to pin a comment, they will say, we need to verify your identity, take a short video or a picture of your ID. But if somebody insult me, I'm not like other, you know, like Shamshun. You go to his page, have 4,000 view, and there's only people saying, thank you, amazing, beautiful. Like everybody agree with you? Everybody agree. So he spent the night deleting the comment speaking against him. You make a comment against me, I put it in the top. Do you know why? Because I'm confident. I'm not terrified because of your comment. It doesn't hurt me. I use your comment to get you busted. I'm sure of what I say. I don't crumble because somebody says you are ugly. Those who delete comments of others, I will delete your comment only if you are using very filthy language or insulting the Holy Spirit or Jesus. Anything else? Go ahead. Feel free. So don't be silly. Either you worship Jesus as God, your Lord and your Savior, or Jesus for you is a Jew. Jesus coming in the carnation of a full man, perfect man, yes. Same time, he is a perfect God. In the same time, he's a one person. We believe in the incarnation for sure, but that will not change anything. That he is not the son of anybody. Isn't it Jesus said to the Jews, to the rabbis, not only the Jews, He say, what you say of Christ? Son of who he is? The Messiah, he asked the question. They said he is the son of David. He said to them, well, if he is the son of David, so then how David call him Lord in spirit, worship him? Have you ever heard of somebody worship his descendant? So was David worshiping his descendant, or he was worshiping his Lord? So the answer there from the word of the Messiah himself. Talk about Iran, Lebanon, and Gaza, and Yemen. There is nothing to talk about. You know, nobody is serious when it comes with those. Like the only one we can say is serious with them is Israel, and even Israel full of corruption. So Iran will be Iran until one day there is a president he decide to put them in their place. Until now, this day never happened, and I don't think it's going to happen. If it happened, it might be by the end of the term of Trump. But as long Trump, he hoped that he will be a president for the second term, third term, I don't think he will ever dare to attack Iran. This guy is a potato. He's not a war guy, you know. And obviously he don't have some good strategic advisors in his behavior with the Iranian dogs like Al-Houthi. Like now he is bombing them, but this will not affect anything. Nothing, you know. They are preparing for this day. They just shut down an airplane, American drone, cost $33 million. The Houthis shut it down. So they are very well armed, and as long as he is not willing to do ground invasion or use mass destruction weapon, he is not fighting them. Killing 100 a day is like killing nothing. Those, you know, those Yemeni, they have babies more than chicken. So what if you kill 100 a day? Savage people, you know, they don't care about it. They have a party when they die, when they have 100 people die. Those kind of death actually will fuel them to be more aggressive and will make them stronger. Either you finish them or don't go for war, because it's not going to solve it. So they are not willing to solve it. They are just claiming that they are fighting them, but in reality they are not. Same as Iran. We keep talking about Iran will make nukes for the last 30 years. And they never took any action. Neither Israel, neither America. Even when Iran shot 500 missiles at Israel, still the stupid Israeli did not take advantage of that day and destroy their nukes. You don't have real leaders. This was their golden opportunity. Iran just shot at you 500 missiles just yesterday. And your worry is the nukes. So what do? You go and hit electric substation? Who is the stupid here? They don't have the guts to go to war. They are not brave. They are businessmen. They are super chat people. In your opinion, do you think Abdul Malik al-Marwan, the real Momo, was he claimed while writing Al-Aqsa Mosque? I don't know what you mean, real Momo. Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he took, when he built the Aqsa, supposedly, most of the stones actually are taken from Baalbek. Baalbek, which is in Lebanon. So they took most of the stones from there, and even the wood. The temple was not really destroyed until those savage Arab, they came to Lebanon, and they destroyed the temple in order to build what is called Al-Aqsa. However, Al-Aqsa never exists before that day. All right. Idris, are you talking to me? Idris? If you are talking to me, let me know. Yeah. If you ask people, they never answer you because you don't pay them money. Or why you go there? You know that this is what they do. You go there, that means you are supporting them. So what argument you want me to show you, Idris? When somebody make a statement, at least tell me, like, make a full question so people will understand what you are saying. Can't you make a full question? Like full sentence says argument about this, you said this. Tell me what you are talking about. You have slow motion on it, makes it hard to respond quickly. Well, if I don't make the slow motion, then I will not be able to follow with the text too, because you have hundreds of people and they are texting. So which one? You know, we have no choice. I have only two eyes, my friend. I'm not like Muhammad. According to Muslims, Muhammad, he have two eyes in his back, and he have no shadow. He have no shadow, and he can see in his back. And his poo-poo is swallowed by the earth. Trust me, I don't have any of those. All right. I think the one who send you hate message, they are children. No problem, children, not a children. Who care, my friend? You see, those people, they can affect you if you are a child too. But if they are talking to real men, you laugh at them. If you are a child, anybody says something to you, you will cry. I would like to know what? If the verse is true when they say that he will resurrect on the day of judgment after he die, but I cannot find the information. So are you a Muslim, Idris, or you are a Christian? I'm not getting it. Are you with or against? I'm supposed, by the way, to make a video for 15 minutes. Right? And the 15-minute become as usual. Anyway, you better buy the 3 days kit. Verse 1933. Okay, I will answer you about verse 1933. No problem. والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا. Peace on me the day I was born, the day I will die, and day I will be, or I am resurrected. So I don't know what is the question exactly, because it says he will be born, he is born, he is going to die, and he is going to be raised alive. This is what the text says. So when you said, how I know if it's true that when they say he will resurrect on the day of judgment after he dies but cannot find, yeah, but this is not this is not the issue, because if the Messiah he will be resurrected after the day of judgment, so what the point? What the point? Secondly, in the Quran it says, Allah in the Quran supposedly he used the word mutawaffik. So the death of Jesus should happen before he go up to heaven, not after. And this is in chapter 3 verse 55. إذ قال الله يا عيسى إني متوفيك ورافعك إلي ومطهرك من الذين كفروا وجاعل الذين اتبعوك فوق الذين كفروا إلى يوم القيامة. Oh Isa, I will cause your death. The translation is false. You see, they took it off. Oh Isa, I will take you to arise you. False. It says inni mutawaffika. I will make you die, and then I will take you up to heaven. Not the opposite. So Jesus should be dead before he go to heaven, not after, according to this verse in the Quran. Here, another translation, they are lying again. When Allah said, O Isa, I will take thee to me and rise thee to me. False. False again. We will try to find one of them have dignity, or again, false translation again. We keep trying until maybe we can find somebody have dignity to say the truth. Because in Arabic it says it clearly, I will cause your death, and then I will take you up, not the opposite. See, again, false translation. See Khattab. They lie in their translation. Again, you see, none of them says, I will cause your death, and then I will take you. We keep trying. Maybe we'll find one Muslim, he have dignity. If that ever happened. Look what happened. This is a translation of who? Daria Abadi? Must be a Pakistani. Okay, listen carefully. Do you see what it says here? Recall what time Allah said, O Isa, verily I shall make thee die, and then I am lifting thee to myself. So when the death will happen? Before he go up or after? Before. So when they say to you the resurrection is going to happen in the day of judgment, that is a big fat lie, because simply resurrection here happening in his lifetime. Before he go up to heaven, he died, and Allah supposedly resurrected him and took him up to heaven. You ask the Muslim, is Jesus now is alive? He will say in heaven. He will say yes. Okay. The verse in front of you, I will cause you to die, and then I will take you up, not the opposite. You see here is talking about Wafika. It's very clear. It's about death. Always the context of the verse or the words will decide the meaning, because sometimes the same the same word can appear but in different meanings. True, but we have many examples. Like if you go to chapter 2 verse number 281, you will see the word tawaffa is coming there. Or if you go to chapter 2, verse number 234. See? Here, this is for a group of people. And those of you who dies, you know, the one who dies, and leave women behind them. So, Tawaffa, most of the time will come as only death. There's no option. And here it's so clear. It's about death and death and death. All right? Chapter 2, number 240. Same. All right? All right? See, always the word tawaffa. Mutawafika is the same as tawaffa, but it's because it's about the future. I will do to you. Here, it's the past. All right. All right, fire star. Thank you, my friend. Good to know. Anything else? Anyway, we cannot take anything in the Quran seriously. The Quran is like just a stupid story. Actually, if you read like what we are reading now, like where we can find the story about Jesus or Moses or Abraham, it's everywhere. Because this is not a book. This is just an idiot. It's like a collection, you know, like somebody, he brought bricks from, let us say, 200 location. And then when he built the wall, he grabbed bricks, whatever it is. It doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter what it is. And he put them in the wall. And then you get a wall full of colors. And they don't match. Like, if I want to find the story about Jesus, where I will find it? Is it in one chapter, two chapter? If I type Ibrahim, I'm not talking about just to mention Ibrahim. I'm saying like the story of Abraham. Where is the story of Abraham? It's all over the place. Like even those who open a store like Walmart, they put the canned food in one shelf, rice in one shelf, sugar in one shelf. I mean, Quran is not even organized, not even like any store in the world. So where we can find a story about somebody? Where? This is if we can find the story. And not only that, not only it's not organized, nobody even know the meaning. So like, okay, it's like you open, like there is a dark box, you grab something you cannot see, and then after you see it, still you do not know what it is. And that's why you see the Muslim, they say, when they give interpretation for the Quran, the scholars agree about not to agree about this verse. So what they agree upon is agreed not to agree. So even after we find it, we don't know what it means. I would like to hear about your opinion in 9/11. Everybody speaking against America. Well, America is to blame for in somehow, but not the way those hippies they say, stupid hippies. And I will make it simple for you. Why I will blame America for 9/11. Who is the one who trained Osama bin Laden? The American. Is that true? Yes. Even they call him a hero. So the American, they train the Islamic dogs. They use always Islamic dogs in their wars. The same as Iran now use Al-Houthi, Hezbollah, etc. in their wars. America is not, their hand is not clean. So Osama bin Laden is a dog. They fed him. He become big. He's a Muslim. He will bite them anyway. At the end of the day, they are kuffar. So they are stupid. They fed the dog. They trained the dog. They armed the dog. They praise the dog. The dog bite them. And this is the case for anyone who supports Islamist. Europe right now is supporting, defending Islamists, and they make a law for Islamophobia. It turned to be that the one who speak against Islam, he have a phobia. Islam is not dangerous. There's nobody beheading. There's nobody driving cars over people. There's nobody killing people. No, you have a phobia. So the stupid European, they will pay the same price as America. They always supported Islamists around the world, always. So Afghanistan under the communist is danger for America, but Afghanistan under Taliban is a good country, according to the stupid American. So Afghanistan, where women she can go to school and read and learn, is dangerous, is bad. But Taliban is good for the American. They support them, they arm them, they train them. But that will not change the fact that Islam is evil and Osama bin Laden is evil. So what happened? Two evil, they joined together to fight other evil. So do you expect something good will come out of this partnership? No. It's like Satan marrying Satan. And then you expect the baby to be an angel. All right. The same garbage they did with Syria. They armed those terrorists in Al-Qaeda. They gave them hundreds of millions of dollars. Obama gave them, Trump gave them, all of them they gave them. They armed them. And then they say to you, we're against terrorism. Weird, huh? Israel itself, they are the one who support Hamas. How? Stupid. They said to themselves, okay, we have one terrorist group, Yasser Arafat. Let us release the founder of Hamas from jail so he will grow. And then they will compete with each other. And then they will kill each other. Bingo. Smart. So in order to get rid of the mice, they brought a rat. And now they are trying to get rid of the rat by bringing the mice. Are you with me? You sound aggravated today. What does this mean, Tracy? What aggravated mean? I did not eat hummus yet. Aggravated. The topic is serious, so we have to speak serious. What do you want me to do? Speak like Lily J? Hey, ChatGPT. What do you mean? People say weird stuff to me, I don't know. What upset? It's, the topic is serious. Are we talking about hummus? Are we talking about how to make salad? We are talking about millions of people dies because of a stupid evil, supporting evil. Serious topic. We're talking about 9/11, so we make a party now? People burn alive. Aggravated. What, do you want me like the same as those you see in the street? Give me a hug? Well, he need a hug. Give me a hug. Anyone who want to molest a woman, he claimed that he is doing act for God, and he want to give hug. You want a hug? Oh, okay, come on. Let me give you a hug. And then he put his hand over her butt. Give me a hug. He hug you and he molest you. And now you feel better, huh? CP will attack good logic soon. Why I want to attack good logic soon? I don't, you know, actually I believe we need more brothers from the black community to stand against evil, because you see the Muslim, they take advantage of a black community. They are ignorant about Islam, and they make them believe that Islam is for the black, Islam is against slavery. So I'm happy to see someone like good logic, and anyone, any black brother, he come to stand against Islam. We need them, because they target for a long time the Islamic community, to the point a lot of the black people, they use Arab name for their kids even if they are not Muslims. So the stupid you are like a rat going around. CP will attack God logic soon. People attack themselves, you idiot. If you do wrong, I will go against you. It doesn't matter who you are. Who care? What I see, that you are like a sneaky snake person, scumbag, who's trying to make people fight. Isn't this the case? Like until now, since you came here, Sam Shamoun, Apostate Prophet, David Wood, God Logic. It looked like your wife, she was sleeping with everybody in town, and now you became the baby, or maybe your mother, and now you became the baby of all those, and you are their lawyer. All of them, they are your daddy. I don't know what to call you, son of who. Why you are worried about them? Go to their channel if you like what they do. If they are doing good, God will bless them. If they are not, God will punish them. Same for me. Let's come back. Do you like pasta? Don't you see we have pasta every day here? We have a lot of people, they have diarrhea, not only pasta. People, they open their mouth to talk. We have people, they come here, they open their mouth, they make poo-poo. Anyway, for those who they are so upset from me, I have a kit for you. You see the Caesar? Huh? Don't take that candle. It's reserved for somebody in San Francisco. Do you see the scissor? It exists here for a reason. Because you are a coward, you don't dare to call me and tell me what you want to say. So you decide to cut your tongue. So you became brave in text, but you don't dare to face me and call me. Potato. Shish kebab. Hummus. All right. All right, I don't see any more questions. Where can I find the verse, Muhammad, if the orphan blessing of Allah? Well, you know, the Quran said Muhammad encouraged the Muslims that if they want to they if the orphan first. If they could not do it, they go to somebody else. There's, you know, tons of verses speaking about the pervert Muhammad. All right. Anything else? We have somebody in Rumble, he is upset too. The Muslims, the people are upset from me. Oh, what I can say? That's very normal. You know, like when people are upset from you, that means you are doing a good job. Not necessarily all the time, but I mean, especially those who oppose for, you know, with no logic of opposing. They oppose just to oppose. They have nothing really to say. Either today kindly make a open debate with topic. We would not need to make an open topic, like, you know, this our topic is God, is Allah is God, is Muhammad the Prophet. So this is what we do all the time. There's no need to, you know, I don't choose topic because simply, you see, when you choose a topic, usually like a certain topic, that is showing a weakness of you. You are not capable of debating any topic. So what do? You say, I will debate only about this topic. So what I do, I let the Muslim talk to me, and whatever he says, we respond to him, and the whole point of whatever we say is to prove that his God is not God and his prophet not a prophet. So what you're asking me for, there's no need for it. This is what we do every day, isn't it? So when I prove Muhammad is a false prophet, didn't I prove Allah is false? Those who choose a topic in advance, like somebody want to debate somebody, so he will tell him next we will debate after 3 months from now, and this is the topic. So he go and search the internet, because those are not knowledgeable people, so they need to prepare. The one who have knowledge, he's ready anytime. Doesn't matter what the topic. Oh, call me. When a Muslim call me, do I know what he will say to me? I have no idea. See, this is why Islamic TV, they don't take calls live. They never take a call live. You have to tell them the question first, and then after you tell them the question, they will let your voice go through. And there is a delay in the voice to be sure that your question match what you say to them, and like offline. So you call with the phone, you ask you what the question. All right, just hold on. Ask the question, and now you say the question, and then when the guy he say in TV, okay, we have a person he is calling, we will take his question. There's a delay. So the second he says something they didn't approve, they cut him. So the one on the studio, behind the scene, they hear the question before the audience. So they can control those live phone calls. Christian princess, I am princess for you. Alaska, are you insulting me? Or this is a mistake? Yeah, you let the Muslim talk, and then you got him busted. There's no need for a topic. I am against any preset topic. I can do what others do. They play a video. I don't see nothing. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But most of people who make videos, they are doing entertainment. Like, look, like, you know, like when I play Lily J, it's just. I mean, sometimes I feel like it's stupid of me to play a video of such a stupid woman. But you know, sadly, a stupid woman, there's people listen to her. So you find yourself being forced to play a statement of a stupid person. Because even a stupid person have a fan. Can you believe it? People around the world are weird. There's somebody who grow cobra in his house. In his house. Why you want to pray? Why you want to? I mean, what is the beauty about the cobra? Why you want to have a cobra in your house? Somebody he grow a rat. Why you want to grow a rat? So people, they have different, you know, like let us say, appetite in life, interest. And if somebody is a stupid, he will find still people like to have him in their aquarium. They enjoy looking at a stupid person, listen to a stupid, because a stupid person make you relax. He's stupid. He will say stupid things. You feel so comfortable. Hey, ChatGPT, did the Prophet Muhammad make miracles? ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, would you like to convert to Islam? I mean, I find myself silly even playing her videos. But in the same time, you can't ignore that stupidities exist. And you have to help the stupid, not only the smart. All right. Let us see. You know, if people listen to Sneeko have hundreds of thousands of listeners. Sneeko. So just imagine. There's people think that Uthman ibn Farouk is a sheikh, but the guy do not even know how to say his prophet name. Have you ever heard of somebody, he's a sheikh, he have a master's degree in Islam, in the Hadith, you do not know how to read the Quran? Huh. I mean, in the age of the internet, everything can go. That's it. You know, you have knowledge. Yeah, I saw Sneeko with that mullah. You know, he's just a piece of shit. Excuse me. If he is not a garbage, he will not be even with them anyway. You see, in the Middle East, we say, we have a Middle Eastern say, tell me who's your friends, I will tell you who you are. And it's true. Why he liked to be a Muslim and with the Muslims? Because he is the same. He finds himself home, you know. This is who he is. In Christianity, if you lie, you feel guilty. If you cheat, you feel guilty. If you fornicate, you feel guilty. I mean, this Christianity is guilty, guilty, guilty. In Islam, you know, just say Shahada, don't question the Prophet, you are fine. The rest is okay. Allah forgive all the sin, brother. You go to Hajj, you touch the black stone, you kiss it, it suck your sin. So, a filthy person, he find himself very comfortable in a filthy place. A clean person, he will find himself disgusted in a filthy place. I believe strongly that a rat will die if his room is clean. Because he cannot survive with Survive means there's no food. Clean means there is no food. It's like a cockroach. How the cockroach will survive? By putting him in a clean room? Very clean, shiny? He would die. He have to find a sink. And that's why he's a sneako. Everyone goes where he belongs. People go to Thailand. I went to Thailand. There's people, they spend their day looking for fornication and drinking and parties, and there is people looking for nice beach, water, nature. Everyone goes where he belongs. The fly go to the garbage, the bees, they go to the flower. Always remember that. And always, if you want to know about a person, check out who is his friends. If somebody told you that I am a fan of Andrew Tate, that means he's a pimp. He have the mentality of a pimp. If his best man is a pimp, what he will be? A good man? A decent man? A decent husband will be? A decent father? His best man is a pimp. Scumbag. So if your best example is filthy, who you are? Who are you? You are no better. All right? What do you think about Christians who baptize twice? I don't know what to say. I mean, baptism should be only done once. What by twice? Like, is it like, what about do it 5 times then? There's only one baptism. What twice? But that can happen because, there are some dummies in some churches. They say, oh, this church is not following the true faith. You have to be baptized in our church. But is the Holy Spirit like owned by you? This is why I don't like, to join any of those groups. Myself, I'm baptized in the Orthodox Church. But I have no problem to baptize in a Catholic church. Because I'm not baptized by the man, I'm baptized by God. My faith give me the right of baptism, not the man, not the priest, not the bishop. I don't care if it's Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox. Jesus says, whoever believes in me and die, he will live. It's not the man, it's not the priest, it's not the church name. You receive baptism because you believe in the God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. You believe in the crucifixion, resurrection. The Lord, He died to save the world. He is your salvation, and He is the only way. So your belief is what saves you. It's not the priest. It's not his blessing. A man cannot bless a man. I cannot bless you. I cannot bless myself. When we say in language, we say bless you. In fact, we are saying, may God bless you. God will bless you. You cannot bless yourself. How to start a conversation with an imam, my Muslim friend, if he want to leave Islam. Well, you see, there's no setup to how start a conversation, because you start the conversation based on the person. Every person is different. There's some people, they are calm, quiet, relaxed. There's people, they get nervous so fast. There's people, they are smart, educated. There's people are not educated. So everyone you want to talk to, you have to study the person first before you start. There's no preset. It's not like, you go to the ranch and there's ranch 14, so we use it with a screw 14. Human beings are different. So you have to be an adjustable ranch, which means you have to find out first the one you are talking to, how to talk to. It's not for everybody. So when I listen to a Muslim, I listen to him carefully, trying to understand what kind of a person he is. Is he nice? Is he intelligent? Is he low IQ? Is he smart in some way? Do we have like a valid logic? You have to listen to the person, and then you decide what to do. So there is no preset. We say God bless you because every time we sneeze, yeah, don't be funny. All right. Yeah, every human being have a different, you know, not only we have different fingerprint, different look, different DNA, we have different mind. Two brothers will not be the same, even if they are twin. Still, the way they think is different. So you have to learn about the person. That's why I advise you always, actually, in anything you do in life, never approach without knowing the person you approach. Try to listen to. You take some information, and then based on the information you learn from him, if you did not have enough information yet to start, let us say, your argument, try to get more. Like, try to make an extra conversation to talk about other things, so you can get the atmosphere of the person. You know, if I want to explain to you about how, if you are a person from Norway, and I start telling you about how beautiful the mountains. Well, this guy is bored of the mountains. His country, all of it is mountains. He would be more interested if you tell him about the desert. He never saw one, except in TV. He never been in one. So he will be fascinated to know about something he do not know. So if you are going to have a conversation about something he knew very well, that is a boring, something he see every day. It's like how white the snow. Well, he knew that. But if you say to a person who live in the desert, never saw snow, and you try, you know, start talking about how beautiful the snow when it come, when it's coming with the wind, you know, it make you feel happy, he will be interested. He never saw snow. So a conversation have to come with attraction and direction. Attraction to make the person open to you, so the conversation will be friendly, unless he is coming with enmity already. Then you have to be more aggressive because it's a defense time. Or let's say he forces you to be in the defense mood, not in the receiving mood. And you have to choose a topic which can be a good opening. Jesus baptized by John, so you are baptized by God. This is the thing I disagree with you. My friend, I don't know how much you know about the Bible. When Jesus was baptized by John, did the Holy Spirit descend as a dove and said, and the voice came from heaven, "This is my only begotten Son"? Is that correct, guys? Is that true? What John he said about baptism of Jesus and his baptism? So you are again ignorant. The baptism is not done by the man. It's done by the Holy Spirit. What is your opinion, Netanyahu Qatar scandal? I said a billion times before, this guy is a fraud, but nobody want to listen. Once I was in the Philippines, I was next to a Christian, very, very important person in the Philippines. Extremely important. He is a closer friend to Netanyahu. He received a phone call from Netanyahu. He asked me, do you want to say hello? I said no. After he hung up, he said, why? You said no, in such an angry way. I said, this guy is corrupt. He got so upset from me because I said Netanyahu is corrupt. He's very, very, very close. He have pictures with Netanyahu, his son, his wife. Each of them, their wives, they are so friends, so close, very close. And they have residency. They gave their church residency in Israel. They can fly anytime. They do not need a visa. They are like, extremely connected together. But I say the truth. They got upset from me. When you say BGC, when you say in the name of God, I don't know how smart you are, but do you know what the name of God mean? Which means nobody have authority except God. So you just refuted yourself. The second you say in the name of God, it's mean God who did it to you. The priest is not the one who really baptized you. So if I say in the name of Jesus I cast the demon, is it me who cast the demon? No. I have no power to cast the demon of you. It is the power of Jesus to cast the demon, not my power. So either you know what you are saying, or you are just a person who throw whatever comes from your mouth. The second you say in the name of God, that means you are not the one who have the authority. It is God authority. God is the healer. God is the savior. God is the creator. God is your maker. So who are you? You are just a follower. Unless you worship a priest and you think the priest is the one who really gave you the Holy Spirit. Do you receive the Holy Spirit from the priest or from God? Thank you, Rana. You see, we don't sugarcoat things. There's people, they worship priest. They don't worship God. They don't even follow God. The priest says, the same as the Muslim. Abduls. The Pope says, the Bishop says. That's why they brought a guy, they call him the Holy Father. But the Bible says the Bible is there saying, you call only one person Holy Father, because your father, the only father you have, is the one in heaven. And then they call the guy Holy Father. It doesn't matter what you say to them. They are looking for a man to place him instead of Jesus. We don't even call Jesus the Holy Father, can we? But you call the Pope. Or you call the Patriarch His Excellency. There was any excellency in the time of Jesus? Isn't it Jesus says, if you cannot be a servant, you cannot be a master? Which means you are a servant. And then you become excellency and patriarch and His Holiness. It's like the same as Muhammad. Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, which means Allah pray on him and salute him. So instead of Muhammad supposedly is a prophet of Allah, it turned to be Allah, he worked for Muhammad. And this is how some they do with in their churches. They you know, they elevate bishops and priests above God. So the Holy Father said, but the Holy Father confessed his sin every Sunday. He's a sinner. How you call him holy? Holy for what? Are we really holy? All right. Why do Muslims give more attention to Muhammad than Allah? But this is not only Muslim. We are just talking about it. There's some Christian, they give attention to bishops and priests more than God. This is not only Muhammad. The whole idea of Muhammad is to make you worship him. His name Muhammad, which means the praised one. So the purpose of Muhammad to exist is to make the whole world worship him, the praised one. Muhammad, when the Muslims, they say they are monotheist, they are lying, and the first proof is the name of their prophet. He changed his name from Qatham to Muhammad. Qatham, the sperm and the dirt of the hyena. From the dirt of the hyena to the praised one. If Muhammad is the praised one, who is the praised to? And those some who claim to be Christians, because they are naive, they praise one person, claiming that they praise Jesus by praising them. So they created titles, Holy Father, His Excellency, all right. And by the way, you don't have to agree with me. I don't care who agree, who don't, you know. There is people, they say things because the majority, they say what the majority like. I'm not doing business here. I'm not here opening a coffee shop so you buy coffee from me. I'm not here to answer super chat like the one who give money, we answer him. We don't care who agree, who don't. If you think I'm wrong, okay, good for you. But you have to be honest with yourself and study very well what I just said. I appreciate all priests. I'm not against priests, but I don't have any appreciation for a priest. He elevates himself above the others. A true priest of God is the one who is a servant, not a master. People make you master, you make yourself servant. So people elevate you, you put yourself down. You humble yourself. People elevate you, not you. So if I go say, call me the Holy Father, people should not listen to me, should not respect me for saying that. And if somebody call me the Holy Father, I should rebuke him, because the Bible says it clearly, don't call anyone Holy Father or Father, because you have only one. Yeah. Call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Thank you for posting the verse. I like those people who post verses and they knew what we are talking about. But you know, those priests, because those things give them privilege, and this is what many they are about, trying to elevate themselves above God. Is Muhammad a title? Obviously it is. This is not his real name. It is. Praised one. Why anyone want to call himself, or his parents, they cannot be calling him Muhammad. Well, actually, we have reference and evidence. In fact, there is a story about other name for Muhammad. I don't speak about it. He was called Mudhammam. Mudhammam mean the one who is ugly in behavior. Ugly in behavior. Let me. Usually I don't talk about this, but no problem. This is why there is a song for him. It says, Mudhammamun asayna. Mudhammamun asayna, which means the guy whose name is Mudhammam, which means ugly, disgusting. We disobey. Let me see if I can find this hadith. And then Muhammad, he says, okay, they are insulting Mudhammam, but I am Muhammad. So now he claims after he changed his name, he is not Mudhammam no more. Let us see if we can find the hadith here. Here we go. Very good. Allah Messenger said, does not astonish you that Allah protect me from Quraysh abusing and cursing? They abuse Mudhammam, sorry. And look here, by the way, they did not translate with the word Mudhammam. You see it? They just put it as it is in Arabic. Why did they wanna translate? Because it's his name. All right. Did you take reference? Mudhammam is the one who is very bad in reputation. The one who is rejected for his bad. Let us see if other and this is Al-Bukhari, by the way. Let us see here if they translate. You see? Here they translate, they revile one who is blameworthy, Mudhammam. This is a name of Muhammad, Mudhammam. Filthy. This is his name. In fact, the name here, the translation is not accurate. So they attack Mudhammam. They insult Mudhammam, but I am Muhammad. Muhammad said. It have nothing to do with him, but he knew they are talking about him. He is Mudhammam. All right, did we learn something new? Did we take notes? I hope so. All right. The story about Noah, maybe next time, my friend. So like to know the life of Muhammad, aka Qatham, aka Mudhammam, you have to have, like, let us say, like, what I'm sharing with you right now, it took me all my life to find out. But the information will come when there's a topic. Like you have like a dark spot in your memory, and then somebody have like hit it, and then the memory come. So it's like you have a million book, and then the info will come. But you have to bring it, you have to ask the question which will make that info come from its coma. This is why I like to answer people in the chat, because those questions will bring many things which the dust cover it. You know, when I was a kid, I used to read almost one book every day, almost, depending on how big the book, you know. And I used not to read books for children's. When I go to library, actually, in the library there's a section for children that have Mickey Mouse, Tintin, all those magazines, you know, with pictures. I used to walk with, like, there's a section for adult. Kids are not allowed to enter. So I wait in the front in the corridor until a man he is coming to the library, and I walk next to him as if I am his son, so I can get in with him, because kids are not allowed. There's a guy in the front, you know, he's like a guard, you know, to be sure no books will go out, nobody will steal, and to be sure, like, everybody is in order. So I walk with the guy. The guy is looking next to him. He see a kid walking next to him, but he don't know why. But what he can say, I mean, so I keep walking with him. He sit on the table. I sit next to him too. He look at me. What he will say in the library? You can't even talk. You know, not allowed to talk. So I cannot now borrow books. I grab any book on the table. So the people, they leave books on the table after they finish. I grab any book. I have no idea what the book is about, and I start reading. Especially in the summertime, like when there's no school, I spend the day reading. So knowledge doesn't come like, you know, like AI. They program it. They download like a 3,000 billion file of information inside the computer, and then the computer answer you. Human being doesn't work this way. Learning is a process. It takes a lot of time. Here, you're lucky. You get information. Maybe if you spend your lifetime reading, you will not find it, for many reasons. Because number one, you don't speak Arabic. And this is the key of knowing the garbage of Muhammad. Like even now, like now we are lucky we have translated books. Not long time ago, I think 12 years ago, something like that, there's 0 books translated almost. I used to have all the website in Arabic, and I have to translate by myself. And until now, the translation is not accurate. They lie to you. So language is the key of knowledge. Language is fascinating because if you understand, if you speak Aramaic, Hebrew, Arabic, I think that will open like a treasure of knowledge. Me, myself, I wish I speak all those 3 languages fluently. I know I can say I speak the Arabic fluently, and my first job actually I did in my life is to correct the newspaper Arabic. Because when you have the language, you have the key to know the meaning and what behind the meaning. Word can open a treasure of culture, where the word is coming from, what it's meant, what is the background of it. The same when we read the Bible, most of the names in the Bible, they are not names, but because for us they are foreign language, so we think they are names. Like Abraham, we think it's a name. It's not a name. Yeshua is not a name. Gabriel is not a name. Michael is not a name. Israel is not a name. Jacob is not a name. Every one of them is a story by itself. But for you, if you are a foreigner, you don't know. You think it's a name. You take it as a name. You pronounce it as a name. Sarah, Abraham, how Sarah became Sarah, the Bible explained to you. If there is nobody in translate to you how Sarai became Sarah, you will never know. But a person who knows the language and the history of the language, he can find out the secret of the word. What is the origin of it? How it become like this? And what make it like that? Same as Abraham. Abraham. Okay, how Abraham he became Abraham. So knowing the language is the key to know history, to know scriptures, to fight against or to support. Because history is written by a language. Knowledge delivered by a language. Jokes, we can't understand them if we do not know the language and the culture behind the language. So if you translate a joke, it's not going to be funny. Because you miss the part where it is what make it funny. Anyway, my 15-minute video again become 2 hours. So I want to say thank you guys for being here. I want to say may the Lord bless you. And again, you don't have to agree with me in what I say, but don't listen to those people. They say to you the judgment day is tomorrow and next week. And yet, in the same time, they are collecting donation and they are playing advertising in the top of their video on YouTube. If those people themselves are convinced with what they say, they will stop caring for money. Very easy. Secondly, God made it clear that no one but the Father, no one will know the day and the hour. No one. Don't listen to people. Don't believe in them. Be ready anytime, because the judgment day is your judgment day. When you die, that's it. It's over for you. So be ready for that moment. And what is for God, leave it for God. Whatever the day of judgment will be, you don't worry about it, because you are a believer, you are saved, and you follow Jesus. So I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. Why I want to be worried? The thief will be worried if the police walk by his house, because he's a thief, because he's guilty, because he's a criminal. Someone never steal, someone he repent, someone he love God, someone he follow the steps of the Lord, he will not be worried about the day of judgment, for always he is ready for it. This is why the Bible says to us, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authority, against the cosmic power over this present darkness, against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. And this is a struggle we'll go through when you are a believer. There's many that will try to deceive you, take advantage of your belief. So Satan, he tried to deceive you to take you out of your faith. If he could not, he will try to use your faith to deceive you still. So if he could not come to you from the door, he will try to jump to you from the window. And then he will bring you people who will use you, abuse you, and because they use you and abuse you, you lose faith in God. You say, look, those guys, they claim to be Christian, they took my money. They made me believe in something. It turned to be a fraud. Then you decide to lose faith, for those people are not what they say. But we know that those people are not the one we can judge God by. If I'm bad, I'm bad. What does this have to do with Messiah? If I did something bad to you, I did it to you, not him. But there's many naives. They judge the faith by unfaithful people, which is absolutely false. If somebody follow Muhammad, he is bad for me. If somebody did not follow Muhammad, he is way better for me. If someone follow Jesus, he is good to me, because a follower of Jesus will not hurt people, will not scam people, will not take advantage of the old and the poor and the rich and anybody. A follower of Jesus is someone who follows the steps of Jesus, not someone say Jesus. This is why the Messiah says, not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who do his will. So we, the sinner, we know that. We struggle with our sin, and we know that. But we will never be proud of our sin. And always we will do our best to fight it, to stand against it, and the most important, not to promote it. And not to take advantage of the naive ones. Naive ones doesn't mean they are bad. Naive one can be someone very good-hearted, but still he's naive. Because the person is taking advantage of him, he thinks he's good. So we have to stand to protect the naive from those wicked who make wickedness a way to take advantage of the naive one. You see, the law, as you know, I study law, supposedly does not protect the fool. In fact, the whole purpose of the law is to protect the fool or the weak. Because the strong, you don't need protection. The strong is not the one who get attacked. So the law, they say the law does not protect the fool or the ignorant. But in reality, the law supposedly should be, especially the law of God, is made to protect the naive. This is why Jesus, he taught us, for we are the naive, and there is many that will target us, for we have a good heart. And when you have a good heart, there's many wicked people will take advantage of your good, because the good-hearted man or woman, they trust easy. They believe. If somebody come to them wearing a priest uniform, they will believe him. He have a good heart, so he trusts the uniform. But we know that this is not right. This is why going back to the Bible is so important to know that from their fruits you shall know them, not from their uniform, not from their names, not from their color, not from being white or black or Asian, but from being the good fruit tree. Corrupt fruit is coming from corrupt tree. Good fruit is coming from a good tree. So we have the guideline, and the guideline is so clear. Don't listen to those people. It makes me sad to see somebody is under the influence of a video saying that Judgment Day is going to be a few days from now. It's just to get a click and get advertising and get donation. And it's very funny that Judgment Day is coming, but still I'm collecting donation from people. Maybe I will take a big screen TV with me to heaven. Maybe they will transfer the money to me in my bank in heaven. Maybe I'm going to buy luxury stuff in heaven. Shouldn't you know better? You should. So I want to say thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. And as always, God is good. So is Jesus. And we are the crusade. See ya. Take care.